Yes, you guys, welcome back. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lines TV, and today I'm here to bring you guys another News Daily video. This time I'm going to focus on 4 stories for today. For 2 stories, they are going to focus on the updates and progressions of the sales of Bakayoko and Emerson. And for the other 2 stories, I'm going to speak about 2 young talented players that could potentially be new recruitments for the revamped loan army. So let's see what happens, you guys. Of course, before I get into things, let me get the plugs out of the way first. If you like today's video, smash that like button, help me get over 4,000 likes for today's video. And for the second plug, there isn't one. We're not going to waste any more time and get straight in with the first story today. And for the first story, I'm going to speak about a Spanish Wonderkid the club are showing interest in. His name is Nico Melamed. He is currently at Espanyol, and he is seen as one of Espanyol's best young players in a very long time. Now, what's quite interesting about this story is that there were reports back all the way in March speaking about our interest alongside clubs like your Barcelona's, Real Madrid's, Bayern Munich's, etc, etc. So I think that tells us everything we need to know about this player's potential and his abilities. He has the attention of some of Europe's best clubs. But anyway, you might be wondering, Nini, what type of player is he in particular? He's an attacking player that is very versatile. He can fill so many different positions across the front 3, play down the left, play down the right, and play in midfield as an attacking mid too. Clearly, it's no surprise that we show interest in a player like this. And today's reports state that we are interested in making a 7.2 million bid for him because that is how much his release clause is worth. For me, you guys, if we were to sign him, we're not signing him for the first team. I think it's pretty simple. I think he could be an interesting signing to make for a revamped loan army. Now, we do know that there's already new rules in place to suggest that now you can't just hoard tons of players and loan them out. You only have to have a select amount of young players you're allowed to loan out every single season. And I guess in that sense, maybe it's time we make the loan army more of a finishing school. If we were to sign some talented young players that we feel could potentially, fill positions in the future that could potentially save us tons of money down the line, then it does make sense to sign them young, find them the right clubs to sign for. And due to the fact that there aren't tons of players out on loan, it means you can specialize on every player and give them the attention they need. I think that this could be an interesting signing if this was the case. He's a young player that seems to have very good close control, a very good low sense of gravity as well. He seems to understand the spaces. He sees the movement of the ball. He knows what positions to fill and be in as well. And I think based on the fact that his release clause is so affordable right now, then maybe it's worth taking a gamble on and seeing what he's fully about. Of course, you guys, with stories like this, especially coming from AS, this could just be his agent talking because he wants a better contract currently at Espanyol. That could make sense because right now, he most likely would get a ton of game time if he remained at his current club. So I guess it would have to take an unbelievable offer. Let's see what happens with these stories, you guys. But now, we move on to the second story today, and I want to speak about the latest updates surrounding Emerson and his potential very likely move to Inter Milan. Now, reports keep re-emphasizing the fact that Emerson is close to signing for Inter Milan. The player has already agreed personal terms with Inter Milan, and even though Conte's future is currently in doubt after losing the Europa League against Sevilla, even if he was to possibly leave, this would not affect or jeopardize the Emerson deal to Inter Milan because he has been a long-term target at Inter for a while now. So basically this is music to our ears, and it seems like the final thing that is standing in the way of this deal being completed is the fact that the final fee has to be agreed upon. Now, originally we were hoping to earn up to 30 million for his sale. We've known that Inter Milan have offered 20 million. So logic would state, and you'd pray that logic would work in a scenario like this, that both clubs find an arrangement in between at 25 million euros. If that's the case, you guys, I think that's great money for him. And I think at this point in time, I'll give some of my brief thoughts and opinions. For me, Emerson has disappointed me. Now, it's not the fact that he has been bad. He hasn't given many bad performances. Let's keep things real. He's been very standard. He's been very mid. And for me, he's worked under 3 different managers. He's worked under Conte. He's worked under Sarri and Frank Lampard. And he still hasn't been able to secure first team football on a consistent basis. I think when you've had the opportunity and, when you're settled here as well, I was hoping to see more, and I guess the only memories we're going to have of his very glimpsed abilities was at the start of last season, where stats were showing and proving that, wow, Emerson really was on point. But then the injury came, and from that moment on, he was just never the same player. I think this is a great move for Emerson. He could be playing consistent football for Inter Milan in a year that's very important if players want to play for their national teams during next year's summer. So let's see what happens there. The fact that we can earn 25 million from him, that basically funds half the money for Ben Chilwell. I think that's great business. That is typical Marina. And let's hope now that Inter Milan just hurry up and cough up the money. I can imagine they want to long things out to wait for us to buy Ben first, maybe come in with some new negotiations. Let's hope that isn't the case. And now you guys, we move on to the third story today, and this is an interesting one. It's a story that I spoke about a while back. The player in particular is Malang Sarr. He is currently on a free contract, and reports from Sky Sports have stated that we are showing interest to sign him on a permanent for next season. Now, I have mentioned previous interests from our club in Malang Sarr, so in that sense, I guess this story today officially confirms things. Anyway, the only issue I have with this story is that Sky Sports are reporting it, and for me personally, I kind of feel like Sky Sports right now are just doing like propaganda pieces for agents who are trying to boost the profile of their clients. I think there's been so many stories they've been saying are exclusive that haven't been real at all, that haven't been honest at all, and I just think that potentially could this be another example? Who knows? Let's continue on and delve deep into the story. It seems like if we were to sign him, our plans are to have him out on loan the next season. Now, you guys, I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions. Sarr is an interesting player. He is left-footed, he is very good on the ball, he isn't the perfect player just yet, and I think that is most likely why he would be moved out on loan. I think right now he has to work more on his positioning a bit more. I think some of the passing selection choices at times as well. I get the vibe that he suits playing more of a back three compared to playing in a back two. So maybe getting a loan move to a club that plays using a back four could be very beneficial for his future plans with us. For me, you guys, this is a player that does have promise. And I think when you have a loan army that you can now cultivate and really just focus on fine-tuning players' games, really focus even more on helping them to improve and fulfill their potential, then Sarr could be a smart signing. Now, I can imagine that some of us are thinking, Nini, why would Sarr decide to sign for us? I mean, he's on a free. He knows if he was to sign, he might not play consistent football all the time. For me, I've got a different take on that. I think that if he was Sarr, I'd assume we'd be offering him a very nice contract. Most likely more money compared to if he was to sign for a club like a Torino, for example. So I think on that basis, you're Malang Sarr, you've got good money. Due to the profile of this club as well, you have a chance of getting a very good loan. There's going to be a plan around you too. And I think the final selling point as well, you guys, is the fact that Sarr will know that he has a foot in the door at potentially securing first team football or becoming part of the squad in the future. I think, if he was to go to a lesser club, he'd have to maybe do things right from the bottom, and he could potentially be lost with other transfer targets we look at for centre backs. If he was to sign for us now, he has that foot on the door at all times. That could be a massive motivator for him to, improve his game, find new things, and really just become the best player he can be. I think this would be a very smart signing to make. If worst comes to worst, you're guaranteed to make money from his loan fee and signing, and of course sell him on for a nice piece of profit right at the end. You guys in the comment section below, give me your thoughts and opinions. How do you feel about this deal? Let me know below. And for the final story today, you guys, I'm going to be speaking about Bakayoko and his potential imminent move to AC Milan. Now, reports came out from Italy earlier today, and they're suggesting that AC Milan have officially made a first bid to us to sign Bakayoko. That first bid is 3.5 million loan fee up front, paying for his wages, and of course agreeing to buy him for 35 million euros at the end of his loan spell. Now, if this is the best offer they can give us for a first bid, I can't imagine there being a second one. I kind of feel like this is a take it or leave it. I think right now it would make a ton of sense to sell Bakayoko, and for me, I would take this offer. Now, when you consider over the years the amount of money that we've profited from by loaning out Bakayoko. For example, when he first went to AC Milan, they paid about 3.5 million, 3 million back then. When he went to Monaco as well, they paid around 3.5 million on top of that. And if AC Milan's bid of 3.5 million loan fee up front is accepted, that's basically 10 million we've earned just from loan fees. Consider the fact too that his wages have been subsidized as well. This would mean that if Bakayoko was sold to AC Milan at the end of this window, we would make a ton of profit off his sale. I feel like AC Milan is a good move for Bakayoko. I feel like maybe the pace and tempo of that league might suit his game a bit better, and it's quite obvious that he is still well respected by the coaches and staff at AC Milan and the players there too. I've always felt like he's a decent player, but even back when we first signed him, I never really stood by the signing. I just got the vibes, having seen him play personally for Monaco too, that he didn't suit that style of football. He wasn't that great technically. I see him more as a ball-winning midfield player. So it's no surprise to me that he does excel playing in that position. But unfortunately, due to the quality we have, the quality we're buying, there's no space for Bakayoko anymore. I mean, moving to AC Milan is still a great club with great history, and I'm sure he's going to be a big success there. But anyway, you guys, that is going to be me for today. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm nico, this is Blue Lines TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.